how to create a private podcast and then use that private podcast to deliver audio content to your circle community, uh, really with elegant ease. Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ian from Mindful Marketplace. One of the questions that's come up quite a bit in with respect to Circle is how to use Circle to teach or how to use it to actually create a more traditional LMS. And one of the little hacks that I'm finding as I'm playing around with it for our own community is using audio centric content to deliver private podcasting. So you're actually restricting the content by dint of the RSS feed. So you're giving your audience a private audio feed that only they have for only that course. And I find it's a really exciting opportunity to integrate podcasting with more traditional community publishing. So Circle has some limitations with respect to this approach. For an example, posting the audios in a like sequential way within a course cohort, you really have to almost just like post the MP3 files or upload the MP3 files or maybe upload them to YouTube and set the videos to private and do it that way. But you really lose out on the whole private podcasting approach, which has a bevy of benefits that we'll cover elsewhere. But I want to show you a really simple hack that I actually just picked up by or through looking in the Circle community comments for some pointers. And one of the things that I saw was that they have a Simplecast support, right? So if you're using a podcasting service, let's say like Transistor.fm or Castos or uh, even Anchor, something like that, which is now owned by Spotify, you're not going to be able to embed the players in your course in a way that actually is aesthetically pleasing. But Simplecast has support. So watch this. I'm going to show you really quickly. When you navigate the editor on Circle, you'll find all the way down here something that says Simplecast, and you're going to add a Simplecast link, and I'm going to change this to day one. All right, so this is day one, and as you can see, the Simplecast player embeds really nicely just by pasting a link, right? So if I create this post, now I can go back and add day two. All right, I'm just going to create that. I'm not going to actually post anything in there. Instead, I'm going to go back into Simplecast and see if I can find it. It's right here. I actually signed up. I signed up for a paid tier on Simplecast, even though we're using other podcasting approaches, simply because of the really nice way that it integrates with Circle. So I want to test this 10-day course, which we're calling Meta Magic or Meta Mercenaries. We've had some pushback on the word mercenaries. In this case, it's just spreading loving kindness out into the world, like going out into the world with the intention of spreading compassion and kindness in this really specific sequential way. But nonetheless, some people have complained about the word mercenary, so I guess I need to be sensitive to that. I'm trying to actually be maybe too clever here, but nonetheless, so we may change this to Meta Magic, or that's at least the name of the podcast. And again, the other interesting thing is that you don't have to use podcasting in a traditional way that other people are using podcasting. I'm not interested in starting a Joe Rogan-esque podcast. What I'm interested in is delivering short courses that really add value to our community, that are private, using podcasting tools and protected RSS feeds. So if we go into, let's say we go into the episodes for this, I'm just going to show you this. This was the first lesson, or this was the introduction to the course. And this is actually private. And I'm trying to see if I can find where I can show you how to do this. So if we go into edit episode, there's a really simple toggle. Right here, which is hide this episode from your RSS feed. Actually, that should have been toggled on from before, so I forgot to do that. So I'm glad I went into this to show you. But now this is private. So on the public RSS feed, there will be this will not show up, right? So no one can access this via, unless they have the, this particular episode's URL, right? So in this case, it's a private lesson that is only available to, the folks that I want to have this. Now, I will also say one last thing, which is I don't think the way Simplecast does private our private podcast feeds is the best way for our business going forward. I much prefer the way that Transistor.fm and some of these other platforms handle private podcasts or private RSS feeds. And there's a whole bevy of reasons for that. Transistor FM in particular is really beautiful, the way they have the whole RSS feed set up. Your members get an email. There's just with a page that has a whole collection of the audios that are available to them. It's just a really sweet setup. It doesn't appear like Simplecast has that ability at this point, or I'm sure they have the ability. They're just choosing not to do it. They're a much bigger company than Transistor is, for an example. But there are lots of other ways to do this that I think are really exciting. There's a company called Podfan, pod.fan. I did a review of Podfan on YouTube, so you can actually watch that. There is also Supercast, and all these other, like Captivate, Castos. All of them have private feeds that you can use for your communities, your circle communities, your Podia communities, your membership communities. Some of these also have Zapier connections that allow you to automate the process where folks sign up for something and get access to your private feed. I just think it's a really, really exciting time for publishers in the audio content area, and I'm personally really excited about this medium because I really love podcasts. Okay, so we're going to be publishing a shitload of private podcasts using this approach, but they're not. Again, these aren't like Joe Rogan-esque, or Mark Maron or those. I mean, I have no intention or ambition of having that sort of podcast. I want to create courses that actually help transform my clients, my community, my subscribers, and teach what I know in a way that impacts the world the best way that I can. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Again, you can integrate Simplecast with Circle just by pasting the URL into the Simplecast selection in the Circle editor, and it shows up beautifully as you saw a moment ago. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, send me an email, hi@mindfulmarketplace.com.